Say we living fast, but what they really mean is we're running from something. The streets got stories, cold ones, scary ones, and out here truth don't sleep. I seen good men lose their way, killers turn to ghosts, injustice. Take too long to answer the call, but this
is 12 gauge and it's
where every case pleads true.
Every file got a heartbeat,
and every cold trail still got smoke rising.
We talking about living fast, dying young, but fighting to live right now.
Cause legends don't fade, they echo through the evidence, through the crime scenes, through every voice that never got heard. This ain't entertainment, it's real life reloaded.
Welcome to 12 gauge and it's
All right. How's everybody doing this morning? My name is 12 Gauge, and welcome to my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time out to give my channel a try. Good morning to you all. Good morning to the people in chat. I hope you are doing well. It's kind of chilly here in Texas this morning. It is currently 7:31 a.m. And I'm usually up at this time regardless, so I thought, why the hell not? Why not do a video, So here we are. I recently subscribed to Plunder's channel, and she has a Patreon wall, and instead of using her with her watermark, I paid for these videos so that we could take a look and also be able to see the possible route that Bryan Kohberger probably took to the 1122 King Road home. So let me set this up and then we'll get started. While I'm doing that, I hope everybody's doing well this morning. That I don't know what time it is wherever you are, but whatever time it is, I'm sure by the time you watch this, it'll be a replay or something of that sort. But regardless, let me get this show on the road. And I'm also going to show the nice sheath photos that I have. And that way you guys can enjoy that. Hold on a second. Let me just do this. I don't know why I make it so hard on myself. It's going to be a wide angle, so here we go. Let me go ahead and make mine smaller. I don't think it has much sound to it. Let me see if I can do this in a way. Let's just do a full screen. That way you guys can see it. I don't see the sound button at all. Yeah, the sound's all the way up, so we're just kind of taking a cruise on the route that he would have taken. I like this vision better because it's like it's an actual eyeball type look. The other one's a lot more wide lens, I guess. And this would be him leaving his apartment at Steptoe. Excuse me for clearing my throat so much on camera. I know if you're wearing earbuds or something like that, it probably, drives you crazy. So this is the route that Mr. Koberger could have possibly been taking that early morning. And as you can see, there's a lot of twists and turns before he actually gets on the road. Hold on, it shut off. I guess that was 37 seconds. Wow, that was it. I don't know why it's so. Okay, I don't know what was going on just then, but now you got sound. Here we go. Is it frozen? What the hell? Hold on a second. Let me redo this. Because I can see mine, but I don't know why you can't see yours. Here we go. Okay, let's try this again. The voice is all the way up. Here we go. Like I said, there's not sound on this one, but I heard sound a while ago, so that did just that just did not make sense to me. It's almost like StreamYard's behind or something. Let me see if I can find hers on. There we go. There we go. Now it's playing. Okay, I'm gonna turn this one off, and I'm gonna just turn hers on. Okay. Here, let me set this up. I apologize for this. It's frustrating because I just paid for that. Oh well. You live and learn, right? Live and learn. Here's Plunders on her page. Give her total content creator. Credit for this. Here we go.
Really show that what you can see. Okay. don't think we have video of him turning right here, but
I don't think he went straight, so you have to go this way. It may not have picked him up this way. His camera went to the other side. Which is why every time we did those little U-turns, you get a good clear picture of it. Oh, it's
no
beautiful
leaves.
view down there. And you can see right into the house.
Pretty clear shot. See the whole house with the exception of the front door.
Yeah. Not have a view into Kaylee's room. Which we know for at least a little while. Both of them were hanging out in there.
My bra.
Yeah. At this point, DoorDash is left.
Correct.
Okay.
The vehicle comes in here, turns around, comes back.
Okay.
Does the weird turnaround out here, and then
Okay, so if you're lost like I was for a minute, he just turned onto Queen Road. He made the left. Let me back it up a little bit to show you where he's at. This is going to be going right next to the dumpster by 1112. And there are the apartments where Hunter Johnson lived at. There's the 1112 home. So if you were confused, that's where he's at. Now he's going to drive by the 1122 home. So here we go.
it goes back around.
But you tried to parallel park
Yeah,
here.
he kind of does this kind of a deal, and then
Alright, started to back up and then changed his mind.
and it goes like that, and like this. Right here. The last lights we have are
Okay, so he's going around the Queen Road apartments right now toward the back. Man, this is confusing at night. I mean, I've never really seen somebody drive this like this, but this is kind of confusing. Tell me what you think, Chad, if there's anybody in chat watching right now.
these far houses that gets the camera. So this is where the time gap is from.
Big time gap.
Yeah.
20 minutes?
Yeah, 4:08 basically till 4:20 when the vehicle leaves.
Right.
So this is the time gap where we believe he was in the house.
Right. And where he parked up here, we don't know
we
yet,
don't
but
know.
we have our own thoughts.
Right. So here's the house. So then the next thing, I'll do my best to drive this somewhat quickly. So the next thing we have is at 4:20. Lights and leaves. That's the last video.
Okay, if you didn't realize what he's doing, he just made a left on Walenta and he's going through Walenta Road. He started his journey at 420 at a high rate of speed. So I guess they're just doing the last bit of the crime. Here we go.
Right.
Hello, Syria. I don't know about you, but I would have had to drive this multitude of times, possibly 23 times, to get acclimated with the roads, especially at different times of night. Because at nighttime, it's really confusing for the first time that I ever drive somewhere because you don't know the roads. You don't know if the road's going to constantly turn to the left, turn to the right. There's a stop sign, there's road construction. If there's any kind of obstacles, cars parked along the street, stuff like that. How are you guys in chat as far as driving? Are y'all good with the first time driving at night, like somewhere you've never been? I mean, during the day, it's a lot easier to really comprehend where they're at because we've almost gotten the part of memorizing landmarks. But this is at night, so I couldn't tell you where he's at. I could not. Yeah, it wasn't until I got these glasses that I have that have the anti-glare and all that stuff that that I drive better at night. Okay, it's good to see that the video I was trying to show was just not my video. It was the whole thing. I don't know what route this is. Okay, I believe the camp said 323. Or I'll have to go back and look. It was on the body. Okay, it says 3:15:23, and this is when he drove it. So here we are. Good morning, Aquarius. Good morning, Sirius, and good morning, Common Sense. Thank y'all for being here. I know it's pretty early, but y'all rise or you're still awake. Thank you for being here with me. I wanted to check this out.
And I'll be out the other end. Copy. Thank you. Thanks.
It's okay. It's okay. I understand that. I mean, it's interesting because I'm trying to look at landmarks, and I don't see any that I recognize, and it's driving me crazy. I know sometimes I listen to a podcast to get to sleep myself, so I totally understand it. So I guess he's heading. I mean, there's no real signs, so he must be going down Walenta right here, or is he going back up? Is this Steiner? I'm gonna turn it down because there's a lot of freaking noise. So I don't have an understanding of where he's at. I'm sure somebody who is able to put this to a map can kind of give us a understanding of where this officer is driving. It is loud as hell. Okay, there's the Sigma Chi house off to the right. So now he's turning on the King Road. There we go. Okay, I finally saw something that made sense. And there he's turning on the Queen Road. There's the dumpster. There's 1112. Let's see if we see. Okay, he's going by the house right now. I wonder if he's making the first pass. So there he's going by apartment 52. See, if you wouldn't have known this route, there's a chance you could have crashed into that wall heading around there really fast. So he's in the back of the Queen Road Apartments right there. And there's the back parking lot, supposedly where he parked. And he's turning around.
Heavy front end damage and at least one tire's down.
Damn, he got down that road quick. He's right in front of the house right now, going down Queen Road. He's already at the stop sign. turning onto King at the stop sign. There's the Sigma Chi house. You should be making a left right here. Well, this video came out recently, I think, in some of the documents. I think he has a. I agree with you. He does have some good videos on this. I was just wondering if this showed anything different than what we've seen already.
Good. There's our people that drive out down there. It's totally blocked off. It's totally blocked off.
So that is heading around Walenta onto Ridge Road. Now I know where I'm at, kinda. And then it turns back into Walenta over by Indian Hills, I believe. And here we continue on. The point of reference that I believe that they were trying to make was, at this time of night, look how desolate that road is. And this is the road that I think, if you make a left, it goes back up around towards Taylor. If you make a right, it goes down to Steiner Avenue, I believe. It could be wrong. But can you imagine driving this late at night for the first time? There's no way that was his first time ever driving this. I don't agree with that at all. And nobody has ever said that, but they imply that the 23 other times that he was caught pinging in that area, that couldn't have possibly been him. But think about driving this confusing ass road in the middle of the night. There is cars everywhere parked along the road. There's all kinds of twists and turns, dips and downs and ups. And I could see why in some of the video cam footage that we've been shown, it looked like he was going so slow because, oh, can you imagine driving this? I'd like to know what Moscow Planning Division, when they made these roads, what the hell were they thinking? What were they thinking? Because these roads go in circles, they dip around, they cross each other like 4 times. Even like Walenta. It goes from Walenta, the Ridge Road, and then back to Walenta. The names changed multiple times. I mean, if this police car is the only car on the road right now, at this time of night, then possibly nothing or anybody really caught his vehicle other than cameras. And there he is driving back up Queen Road, doing a turnaround. See, he's already made the turn all the way around Walenta and all that. He's already coming back to make a second turn. I mean, I don't really think people have the grasp of time that it took for this to happen, because we know the timestamps, but we don't see the car actually driving around during that time, other than the Linda Lane footage and some of the other cameras that we've seen. See, it's a miracle we didn't crash into any of those cars on the left-hand side of the road. If there was anybody out on their balcony or porch or whatever, and they're watching this cop car, especially if it's unmarked, I'm sure they'd be tripping out right now. I'll be like, hey, look, that car is coming around more than once. What the hell? There, once again, he's making a left on Walenta. And he's going up the road. And if you don't know, at the end of Walenta, there is a stop sign, and you have to make a left to continue on Walenta. And if you make a right, there is a little dead-end road. Okay, there's a vehicle. There's a white car. Wow. Right here. So you make a left. Actually, I think it's a yield sign. I don't think it's a stop sign. But if you would have made a right there, it would have been a dead end. So he's taking the route once again, I guess, to make another pass. I wish somebody would have played the role of the DoorDash driver. I don't know if they do that in this video, but that would have been cool if there would have been a vehicle in the parking area to play the role of the DoorDash driver. And as always, please remember to hit the like and subscribe. Thank you so much for that. It's not liking me per se, but the material that I present and the way that I present it. So please remember to hit the like and subscribe button if you will. Once again, I know this is really confusing, and you might have to watch this more than once to really understand the landmarks. Or you probably won't watch at all. I don't know. But I thought I would show it regardless because I'm intrigued by it. This is a part of the case that we probably would have seen in court. We probably would have been able to see the police driving this route like he's doing, and be able to show most definitely how long it would have taken him to possibly make these turns to be back around the 1122 residence. And you know, to be fair, I drive a police cruiser, an ex-police cruiser, and all the sounds and creaks and everything that you hear right now, that's what you hear the whole time you drive the vehicle. It is not a quiet drive whatsoever. It creaks and it cracks and everything else. It is very loud. So I'm giving Officer Payne a pass on this one. I believe that Bryan, if he drove this route, would have been driving it a whole lot faster. It doesn't look like he's driving very fast. I can't imagine living in Moscow and having your residence immortalized with such a horrific crime. I can't. I can't imagine what that would be like. Like, oh my God, there's my house right there. I kind of know where he's at because I recognize some of these. I recognize some of these residences. It's hard to in the dark, but you kind of get to know the area the more that you Google map it, looking for certain things. So this is that road where you can go left to Taylor and it loops around, which he's doing right now. And it goes in front of the band field, I believe. And it passes the 1330 camera or 1320 camera on Linda Lane. Because it's not a long stretch of road at all. If I'm wrong by any of these accounts, I apologize. Like I said, it's difficult to really understand this road at night. Because he's making rights and lefts and rights and left, and we've seen that field more than once. So, trying to figure out exactly where this area is. It would have been nice if he would have like kind of spoke through this and let us know where he is. It's almost like he's on a scooter or something. He's going so slow. They did mention that they drove this multitudes of times to try to get the understanding of not only the route that he took, but as well the speed in which it would take to commit such a crime. So he just busted a U right there. He just busted a U right there, so he's heading back in the direction he came. So this must have been one of those times in which the car was going, caught on camera, going the wrong way at the right time, or something like that. Because I believe he's about to turn on the King Road right now. Yep. So one of the surveillance videos that we've been given, you can see him turning around, and there's a camera right there where he turned around at, which I believe was heading down toward the Ridge Road area. And now he's going back in front of the 1122 in front of Queen Road. So this would be the third pass. That's a lot of dipping and diving and everything else. Jesus. Okay, so he's making his turn. It would have been nice if they did this while the lights were still on and you could still see the windows open without the plyboard over it. See, because you can see the house right there, kinda, but it's not lit up, so you can't really see a lot. So would this been about the couple of minutes he sat there and looked,
Could you open 77 UI cases location and assign me the action?
and then takes off, realizes that the lights are still on. So this is pass number 3. He's still on Queen Road right there. So the DoorDash driver would have been there already on pass number 3, I believe. Maybe that's why he paused, because he saw the lights in front of the house. And then he drove away. So he's heading down Valenta right now. And instead of going all the way around, he makes a U-turn. So this is the second time that he's made a U-turn like that. So instead of going all the way around, that makes sense that time frames were getting shorter and shorter. See, I had no clue that those U-turns were made like that. I thought they were made in another area, so that makes sense. Now I can possibly use this video later for a demonstration and even have Google Maps up and showing as he's going on this route. If there's anybody still in chat, thank you for being here with me. I'm trying not to bore you to death. I didn't make this drive, so It's going kind of slow, I know, but it is what it is. So he should be coming up to. Damn, he lost me again. He lost me again. I thought he was heading back toward Taylor and Banfield. I really did. Okay, it looks like he could possibly be coming back into the neighborhood. It is 46 degrees here and clear in Texas, where I'm at. So 46 is a substantial drop, almost a 30-degree drop from yesterday afternoon. So it's almost like desert temperatures, it gets hot during the day, drops at night. I don't know how cold it is where you're at, but if it's pretty chilly, make sure to bundle up and turn that heat on a little bit. Okay, I think he's almost back to the area. That field right there is substantiated in this video. Like you see that thing more than once. You see that white car more than once that's parked at the end of the road. Okay, so he's coming back down Taylor right now. He's heading toward King Road, making a right. And he's going down Queen. There's 1112 on the right. 1122 is right there on the right. Queen Road Apartment. This is pass number 4. This is where you make the 3-point turn. And then you go down to the end of the street, makes another 3-point turn, and then commences upon doing what he's going to do. I wonder what the hell he was doing right there because he started to park, and we saw that in the video last night when I was looking at it. And he attempted to park before he did that 3-point turn. Did he just misgauge the road, or was he intentionally doing something? And this is the fifth and final pass. This one is at 4:07, I believe, or 4:05. Good morning, Lenora. Thank you for being here. So this is the final one. This is the one that he's going just a little faster around Queen Road Apartment. He parks the car. I always get it confused. It's either 4:05 or 4:07, one of those. And as you can see, he's in that back parking lot. And this is where he would have parked until 4:20. As you can see, he turned his lights on, off. And they simulated it leaving the residence at 4:20. So here he is in the vehicle, taking off at a high rate of speed. Hey, Kel. Good morning. Making a left at a high rate of speed, heading toward the end of the road. As you can tell, he's driving a lot faster. I wonder in those 4 passages if he was, or those 5 passes, he was trying to maybe find the least populated street to make that exit as quick as he could. Or if he just had it planned out. And that is the end, I guess, of that drive. And there is Detective Payne. Yes, this is the plunder video. I paid to be able to download, and I downloaded them, but mine was messing up, so I wasn't able to really show it. So this is 3/15/2023. Hey, Kathy. And after this, I'm going to show the knife sheath. I'm going to talk on it a little bit. So the beginning of this video was the one that I paid for, and it was kind of like in wide view, so I wasn't able to really see a lot. So I went to Plunder's site and just playing her. You guys too. If it's cold where you're at, bundle up. It's 46 here in Texas. I don't know where it is, how it is where you're at, but 46 is cold for this time of year.
Good. Can you see the people down there have a verification? I've got the driver here. He's saying that was a passerby. He was the only occupant of the vehicle. I can check that.
So he's already out of the vehicle. I'm not certain where Detective Payne is at this point, but he's out of the vehicle.
Ready to go.
I'm about to eat breakfast while we watch this. I'm gonna have a croissant with honey.
Policy and public shutdown for now until we get people better.
Yeah, I'm touching the brakes. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And a banana. A croissant with honey and a banana.
Thank you.
He's right there by that 76 gas station. Or A&W, I'm sorry. And I guess he's heading down 95. Let me pause it a minute and ask you guys in chat a serious question, okay? Would it be more probable to catch this vehicle on camera as you're looking at this body cam footage? There is not a lot of vehicles. Granted, there's a vehicle on this that I paused it, and I've probably seen two other vehicles. But if you were looking at body cam, if you were canvassing the area and we were looking at all the body cam images, would it not be more easy to pick out a white vehicle, especially if you can see it at various points without a front license plate? Can you imagine how easy that would be? Yeah, that's a good statement right there. I like that, Kels. I can't imagine knowing all these back roads in just a few months. And he wasn't a good driver. It's a miracle he didn't hit the dumpster on the way down on Queen right there. That's what I'm saying. You would have had to know that area pretty good. And like I said, as going around the Queen Road apartments, that concrete barrier, if you didn't know that area and it was your first or second time driving through there, there's a chance you could have scraped that damn wall. You know what I mean? I was just curious about that because many times I hear that they profiled his vehicle, they framed him or whatever. But it would have been easy to capture this video or to capture this car on video, seeing that not only was his car white, it stood out. And you're canvassing, and you see the same vehicle going all over this area. you probably wouldn't have any mindset to think, well, this could be involved in a crime until it hit the Queen Road area and started circling the apartment at that time of night. And you would believe, okay, well, it's circling this apartment area before the murders, and then you see it exiting the area at a high rate of speed after the murders. How is that not an involvement or at least knowing something about the crime? That's why they were so adamant about wanting to interview the driver or the drivers and occupants of this white Elantra, because it became a very suspicious looking trail of events of this car circling this apartment complex, and then a murder takes place, and then it hauls ass at a high rate of speed. Is that coincidence? No, nothing is that coincidental, I don't believe. I believe you're right, Kels. I believe you're right. He was probably out looking and lurking more than he was in his apartment. Maybe his apartment drove him crazy, just all the solitude, but yet maybe that was a manifestation of where he's at now. Kind of like that song, My Own Prison by Creed. You know? In your head, you're in your own prison until you actually go to prison. And here we go around the Queen Road apartment. Well, if it was fracturing then, I can only imagine what his mindset is right now. Solitude, 24 hours a day, has no level of identity whatsoever other than out here. Because in there, he's nobody special. Only out here do we keep that going. That's a good thought, Lenora. It really is. I'll put it up on the screen. I'm cleaning off some honey that I spilled on my desk. That's a good thought.
This will turn out right here. Oh, okay, that makes no sense. Yeah.
Now I have that song, My Own Prison, in my head. Woke up on a Sunday morning. Regardless, driving around at this time of night would be tough for somebody who wasn't a good driver. It's a miracle his car didn't have more dings in it than it did. You know what I mean? As bad a driver as they put him out to be, and he put himself out to be with all them tickets that were photographed in his apartment, you would have think his vehicle would have had a lot of dings in it. And I saw this thing on TikTok that cracked me up. They said there was no way that was Bryan's car because when they impounded Bryan's car, it had the bug shield on it. that showed the mentality of some people to think that that bug shield could not have been placed on that vehicle after the murders. He was looking to sell that car. I don't know if he thought the bug shield added some kind of ambiance to the vehicle. Maybe like putting glasses on a pig. You can't see the pig for the glasses. You just focus on the glasses. Thank you. See, I'm wide awake at this time, sitting at my desk working. So it's Saturday morning, but this is as fast as my brain goes first thing in the morning. And this is without coffee. So that is Palouse Drive, it looked like. I mean, even though this video is a little difficult to understand, I mean, unless you know the area really well, you wouldn't know where you were at just driving around. I mean, I know if you showed me this video and said, hey, tell me where this is, I'd have to pause it, look around, zoom in, because I couldn't tell you a specific area unless you gave me a landmark. Do any of you know where he's at right now? That's a good question. That's a good thought. Because there was a multitude of reports that he was trying to get rid of that vehicle. Which, hell, I don't blame him. I would have tried to get rid of it before I went home, though. I've been trading that car off before I got the tags and everything. That car would have been gone. I probably would have torched it. Been like, okay, I'm going to give me a scooter or an electric bike or something. And I'll fly back home. But this shows you the level of inexperienced criminal that this individual was. He was more book smart than he was street smart. And that's where people fail to understand about Bryan Kohberger. They give him all this credit for being a criminology student and potential PhD major, but he had no street smarts whatsoever. That's what got him caught. Exactly. Don't y'all agree that he lacked street smarts, or as we say, common sense? Because there are so many mistakes that he made that somebody who's street smart or is a true criminal-minded person would not have made. You know? He's obviously in front of beside Queen Road Apartments right now. And did you notice there? Let me back that up. Let me back that video up. There is security lights now. Watch, he's driving around right there. See, there's a security light right there. And there's a bright ass light right there. And there's LED security lights now. And this was 3/15/23. This was a year later, so in March. So it was lit up a lot more than it was prior. Look at all those lights. Had those lights been working the night of the crime? Oh, that would have been beautiful. We could have seen possibly a lot more. Because just you guys, and you are telling me, hey, you wouldn't have taken your phone, you would have jogged up there. That makes a hell of a lot of sense. I would have, I mean, if he could jog 6 miles or what was it? A mile in under 6 minutes or whatever. Park your car a mile away, bro. Park it at a gas station. Get out and jog. Hell, he could have parked it at the A&W. Jogged up. Committed the crime. Changed out. Jogged back. Put it in a backpack. Drove off. Nobody would have been the wiser. There's no way in hell that car would have ever been in that neighborhood. No way in hell. I would have parked it on campus somewhere.
Where it goes back, just flips around. Goes down.
You know? I would have parked it on campus. Leave your phone at home for alibi. Exactly. With the location on. With the location on. All the features on. Where you're damn sure. I mean, like, I heard somebody say in one post, they said, I would have turned on YouTube, put it on a loop, where it would have shown data that I was watching YouTube. I was like, damn, that's ingenious. That is ingenious. But these are different mindset people than what people give Bryan Kohberger credit for. They give him all this credit for being a criminology major. But yet he lacked the street smarts to get away with murder. He wasn't trying to get away with the perfect murder. He wouldn't have got away with the perfect murder. He made too many damn mistakes. He really did. And if you really look at this in a street smart kind of way, instead of looking at it as he was brilliant and the little evidence that they had and all this other stuff, you would really see that. He made a lot of mistakes. Like I did a short last night where I clipped an area of last night's live where I was reading about the DNA. And the guy at Othram said it was not trace evidence. There was multitudes of DNA on that button snap. And I'm going to show those photos here in a minute. And it's interesting that they didn't, I mean, there wasn't any blood on the button snap, so that's why they didn't put the little markers on the photos. But it's interesting on the photos, you can see markers where there was either blood or some kind of other residue, because this was important in the investigation. So the fact that he left that knife sheath, whether he was leaving it as a calling card, whether he was trying to, whether he forgot it, whether he dropped it, whether he was interrupted, whether he was not interrupted. The truth of the matter is, if you're looking just at the facts, the dude left a huge piece of evidence that led them right to him. That was a huge piece of evidence. And if he was so smart, that would have been the last thing he would have left. The last thing. Hell, he should have left the knife or the K-bar. Taken the damn knife sheath. If he was going to do that, I mean, he should have just thrown down the K-bar into the ground, and as he ran off or walked off or waddled off, however he did it. Do you agree, chat, or disagree? I mean, because that knife sheath was pivotal in finding Bryan Kohberger. It really was. And you can deny that if you want. You can argue the fact if you want. That's your opinion, and that's why the U.S. is a wonderful country. But it doesn't mean that you're right. as me stating what I am stating means that I'm right or wrong. But we're free to say as we wish, right? I believe that that knife sheath was pivotal. As long as the white Elantra was pivotal, the pings, whether you believe in those or not, are pivotal. And the one thing that people don't really talk about much is him coming back to the crime scene at 9 to 9:21 and being captured on camera in the daylight. You know what I mean? When you see that vehicle caught on camera in daylight, there's no mistaking that's his vehicle. And in an investigative fashion, you're looking for this white Elantra going around this building 5 times. You see it in multitudes of cameras at night. And then all of a sudden, you come across this vehicle heading toward King Road on these cameras once again in the daylight. Oh, he might as well got out than the Chinese, what is it? Chinese firebomb drill, jumped back in and taken and waved at the camera and then taken off that morning. I mean, seriously, it's that asinine and that simple if you really look at it in that regard. To put all these other narratives out there that this and that and the other have less to do about the murder than the actual murder. And that's what the focus has been on, everything but the murder inside that house at 1122 King Road. These videos, the canvas videos that we've seen, the transcripts, everything that we've been privileged to, which I am grateful for. And I thank Plunder for, because she's done a great job supplying us with all this needed stuff. You know, it's really sad that the murder of these 4 kids was not the focus, but that everything and everybody else was. When you make everybody in town a suspect, or you put other people's lives in danger due to their association with dangerous people, it is terrible how this case went about. Yeah, they jumped on that number quick. And for the WSU cop to be able to spot his that quickly, that tells you how little white Elantra there was in that area. Yeah. It's almost like looking for a one-eyed man in town.
How much time lapsed? Was it like a minute? Less than a minute.
Amongst the masses, and you see just one guy, but you still don't believe it's him because he's wearing shades
Comes up here and disappears for a minute.
that change color in the sunlight. You get what I'm saying? It's like it's that crazy of a case.
But he comes back.
Like, there's no way this man could have done this because of this, and this, and this, and this, and this person could have been, and this person could have been. Well, coulda, woulda, shoulda. What do the police show you at this point? If you really see how this investigation was being brought forth, you really see less of the other stories, I call them. I don't even call them narrative because they're not based on an official document. They're based on opinions and suspicions and false trust in certain entities. I won't call them narratives. I call them stories. But if you focus, and this is what I've always said, and if you go back in my videos, you'll hear me say it. The trial was going to be about the time frame from the moment he entered the residence until he left. The circumstantial evidence that would have placed him in the area was the Elantra. The DNA on the knife sheath would have been the smoking gun, so to speak. You know, it would have been a lot easier to hear that. The opening statement would have been probably about 5 minutes long, if that. Because if you take out everybody else's stories on this case, they wouldn't have introduced the grub truck other than to possibly give a timeline. That Maddie, what did you tell Adam video may or may not have even been introduced. The Corner Club video that we saw may or may not have been introduced other than timeline. All the witness statements wouldn't have been introduced unless it would have given a timeline. Dylan's statement probably would have been used for timeline because they had the downloads from the phones. They had the variations of collaborated witness testimonies on what they knew, what they saw, what they heard. That's it. That is the statement of the morning right there. Scary for someone who studies cloud forensics to not understand his own digital footprint. If his parents paid for his education, I'd be kicking his ass through the phone at the prison. You wasted our time and money to become a murderer, and you weren't very good at it. You were a lousy murderer. You know the Banfield stop where they stopped those 3 kids? That body cam wouldn't have been evidence of anything other than if there was any white Elantras cruising around at that time of night. I believe you, Kathy. I believe you. Yeah, and I had another person that believed the same thing. I believe that it was being planned for a long time. But when you're fixated on the murder and not the planning, that's why you get caught. Did you hear what I just said, y'all? I said when your fixation is on the murder and the satisfaction you get from it, and the anticipation and the urge and the fantasy, the other stuff is kind of just like a formality.
From up here, you can see down there really well. Yeah, that's that proportionate. Yeah.
You know, it's just a formality.
Into that parking lot, which is where the DoorDash person would have been during that time period.
They got some daylight photos.
You know, I've learned more about committing murder from criminals than I've learned in school. To be fair, I mean, all the criminal-minded people that I've worked with for 20-something years, I've learned more about criminal acts from them than from anything I learned in college. But maybe they taught in-depth stuff where he went. Maybe I went to a Timu branded college. I don't know. But you know what? Criminals will teach you a lot. Maybe that's why he was. He did that group project. And did you hear the word I said, group? Because it's been observed that that was a group project of that questionnaire that he put on Reddit. So maybe those were some of the answers that he was looking for so he could visualize that in his attempt to commit this crime. It's just sad that 4 people had to lose their lives because this guy wanted to be famous. He wanted to be seen. He wanted his fantasy to be acted out and to to believe that he was the smartest person in the room. That's a great thought right there, Kathy. That's a great thought.
I don't think he went straight, so he had to go this way.
That could be true.
It may not have picked him up this way. This camera more quickly.
Well, let me ask you this, Kathy, because you seem to be very knowledgeable on things. Can you possibly stalk somebody without any knowledge of it whatsoever? You know what I mean? Like, if you were planning on stalking your kids because you believed that they were using drugs or alcohol or committing crimes, and you decided to stalk them, you could do it without using your cell phone, cameras, all that stuff. You know, maybe he was stalking them and there was no digital evidence of it because he wasn't recording it. He wasn't taking notes on it, but possibly he was taking notes another way and destroying the notes. Who knows? Yes, indeed. And many people do it, and that's what's so scary. Especially for you females. You must be very aware of where you're at all times because there are countless people taking pictures of you, videos, and even watching you
And you can see right into the house.
without you even realizing it. Yeah. I was jogging on the treadmill the other day, and I noticed this guy
A little while.
in my peripheral. There was a woman in some shorts. They're yoga shorts, and I can't lie, she fit them out pretty well. But I only noticed that at a glance, right? When I was getting on the treadmill, she was in front of both of us. He had his camera pointed at her, videotaping her the whole time she was running.
DoorDash is left. Correct.
And I was like, see something, say something, or because I could see his screen. It was on her. You could see the video screen. He was not that far away from me. So it's possible. And she had no idea. When she stopped, he turned off the video. Well, I'm not trying to scare you from the gym. I'm just saying that you have to be aware. And men are pervs, I tell you. Women are too. I've seen women videotaping other women. I mean, it's just a sad world with this phone stuff that we live in. And then I tried to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Was he filming her running for her? Was that her phone? Because I don't always want to be suspicious of people, but I was thinking to myself at the same time, her not even being knowledgeable of that. I mean, I could have told her and it would have started a big old fight, you know?
To back up and then change his mind.
Goes like that. And this.
You know, there's countless people that take snaps of people all the time. Very quickly. It doesn't take long to take a snap. I guess if somebody wants to film me or take a picture of me for whatever reason, more power to it. I keep my phone in my pocket. That way there's no doubt that anybody could ever say I was filming them or taking pictures of them at the gym. The only time I put my phone out of my pocket is to skip a song I had that my watch for some reason hasn't been working. And that's the only reason I take it out and put it right back in. Because I'm not there for all that. I mean, do I glance? Yes. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. Somebody looks good in their stuff and they've been working their body off. And, obviously you go to the gym to look good, right? So if you look good, you're going to Speaking of glance, I've even given people compliments, especially people that I've known that I've been going to the gym with for a long time. I've seen their progression. I say, hey, great job. Your arms are looking great. They're defined, whatever. But I don't sit there and gawk. I know what a woman's body looks like. I know what breasts look like. You know what I mean? Brian seemed to be a different type of person in that retrospect,
And where he parked
in the
that
regard
horse,
that we've been given
yeah,
on his mindset. You know, to
Do my best to drive this
hear the horrific stories of the female co-workers and students at WSU, if that doesn't tell you his guilty mindset, which is called the mens rea, the mindset of potential guilt or potential to commit a crime, I don't know what will. You know, I do an assessment on kids based on questions that I ask them, and it can tally whether this person has a high potential for reoffending, a medium potential, or a low potential. I believe that if Brian would have had, I mean, a lot of students need to have this assessment done as a personality or psychological assessment before you go into college, not based it just on grades, because there's so many people that are very smart that have been killers. And I believe that if we had that as a gauge, then possibly we would have been able to tell a lot from what happened. I'm going to show you the knife sheath now. I just have pictures, so I posted this on a story last night, and I also did this on a community post. I don't know if you've seen it. So I just took the pictures, and this obviously is giving you the reference of how big this knife sheath was, the size of it. So I agree with you. I mean, a lot of, getting back to the knife sheath here in a second, but a lot of kids have gone into biology or chemistry to be fitters, just to cook dope. So, you know, that is concerning. Let me make this full screen. That way y'all can see it. Okay, this says 1222 or 12. Let me put my glasses back on. Hold on. 120522. And then you see the person's name who did this diagram. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but as you can see, there's variation of blood dried into the leather. See, it's all around right here. And it makes you wonder, since there was already blood out here, could this been the blood from punching Kaylee when he went to reach for the knife sheath or for the knife? Because why would there be blood unless it got on here, or I mean, unless there was some injuries? Because supposedly this knife sheath was down by Maddie's thigh. So was there blood going down her thigh that ended up on the knife sheath? Was there blood from Kaylee that ended up on the knife sheath due to spatter? Um, you know. And this is one of the things that I believe that honestly thought Bryan was doing. This is the federal stuff that I believe that he was doing, but it's never been talked about since, you know? So, as you can tell, there is blood on the knife sheath. So, to all the non believers that say that this knife sheath was clean and there was no blood on it, I beg to differ. Let's go to the next slide. And this also was on 11/17/22. There's the person's name. This is the underside of the sheath. Trace material collected. So there would also trace material, which would be DNA, collected in these parts. We've never heard of that, have we? We never have. That's exactly what that says. Trace material collected. So under the sheath and these two little portions, there was trace material. So it could have been DNA, it could have been blood. Let's go to the next slide. Let's go backwards, I guess. And this is another side B, 11/17, item 1. This doesn't have any markers, but as you saw before, there was trace material in these areas. And it really shows you the type of button snap that people have always been assuming that it had, what type of rivets, all that other stuff. This one I thought was interesting because it says trace material collected right here on the inside of the sheath. Which, how could that have gotten there? By the individual grabbing the K-bar, putting it in the sheath and snapping it up. Trace material could have been blood, could have been DNA. We don't know. This was collected on 11/17/22. So that tells you, you know, yeah. I mean, this is interesting stuff. And I might go deeper on this knife sheath thing once I check into some other stuff, but I wanted to show you guys exactly what Texas was asking me if this was a fiber, which it looks like a hair to me. It could be a fiber. That could have been the material that they found. Wouldn't that be something if that was Maddie's hair with his blood on it? Or vice versa. Her blood or Kaylee's on a piece of hair that landed on the knife sheath. And be like, okay, well, it would have got there. No great mystery there. But what other material could have been on that trace evidence? You know what I mean? Could this been a dog hair from his residence? Could look at it. It looks like a hair to me. Had enough girlfriend's hair on me to know the difference. You know what I mean? If Bryan was wearing gloves, does that mean anything pointing to him found on the knife sheath is from when he handled it before going to the murder house? That's a good question, and I believe that would be true. So that's interesting right there. I give the prop to Texas Ranger because he was the one that asked me if that was a fiber last night in Discord. I shared these in Discord last night. As you can see, and I've told you in countless videos, they do measure everything. They use markers to show exactly um, the things on the evidence that they find. Look, it looks like stains right here. Wow. kind of stains are these? I'm no videographer or anything like that, but I know a stain on leather when I see it, you know. And before you get those individuals to start talking about why didn't they use Amito Black on the knife sheath, that tells you everything you need to know about who you are and what you think. You know what I mean? That tells you everything you need to know about that. Oh, Texas was in Discord last night, and we were talking about this. Yeah, there's blood all over, blood stains all over this thing. So when people say that there's no proof the knife sheath even existed, voila, knife sheath with blood stains all over it. And do you think that they planted this knife sheath with these blood markings on it sporadically like that? I don't believe so. Because this is the smoking gun, so to speak. You're welcome, Lenora. Now I'm going to go back through these here in a minute. I just want to show you these as we're going through them. And this is trace material that was collected also 11/17/2022. There's the person's name. There's the evidence number. And before people start saying that was just part of the leather, there's part of the leather right there. And that looks different than that hair that was found on that other one. Trace material on these little spots right here. What could it have been? Could have been DNA, could have been blood, could have been anything. But there was enough material for them to collect it. And here is also side B. And there's trace material that was collected. Where's that little square at? Right here. Good grief. I give props to those people who view stuff like this every day. I would have missed that. But being a professional and not a YouTuber, you'd be able to catch stuff like this. You know what I mean? They're trying to say it's too clean and that's a plant. How the hell is it too clean? They're morons, whoever's saying that. Will you be safe out there, Lenora? Always watch your six. This is not a plant. There are too many variables for it to be a plant. They're stupid is what they are. I mean, I don't even know who you're talking about, but just the fact to say that this is a plant. Yeah, you would plant a piece of trace evidence being microscopic in size, where you're able to, how are you going to do that? You know what I mean? How are you going to do that? I appreciate you being here, Lenora. Thank you so much. You're always welcome to come back. Yeah, and it's touch. They get his finger and say, here, we need to scrape off some skin cells and put it on the knife sheath so we can plant you with it. Or somebody, here, I'm going to give somebody some ammunition here. Walk into his classroom and say, hey, Bryan, I got this new knife, this K-bar knife. I know how you like it. Can you want to look at it? They hand it to him. He unsnaps it. He pulled the knife out, looking at the knife, had his other hand on a knife sheath. He put the knife back in, snapped it back up, and says, oh, that was cool, Jimmy. Thanks for bringing that, but can you put it in your car? Now we got him. Now we got him. We got the knife sheath to frame our teacher. Just wait until you hear that. You heard it here on 12 Gauge Investigative. That's better than the cereal one, huh? You know? That's better than the that's better than the cereal one. Jeff says the thing is, I'm sure the knife sheath went into the house blood free and then ended up under Maddie's body, protected from the majority of the blood. Now they want the BK interview. It's never going to be enough. It's never going to be enough for these people. It really isn't. Their their stories are so asinine. They're clearly entertainers. That's all they are. They believe they are. And here's the bag with the chain of custody form, as we've always talked about. It's sealed, and as you've heard multitudes of times, it was hand delivered to the crime lab in Spokane. As you can see, it is all sealed up. I was watching a creator earlier before I even went live. And it's a she. And she was talking about, I don't believe that this is this and this is that. Already looking at this label, she was already saying that the label, there was something wrong with the label. You know what I mean? She was saying there was something wrong with the label. So if you watch this lady later on, you'll understand what I'm talking about. She hasn't changed her intro, I guess, since she started. And she hasn't changed her picture that she goes to since she started her channel, I guess. Because that picture definitely doesn't look nothing like her. I like that. You want to do coffee? Oh, can I have a lawyer? Yeah, you're right. So right here is the packaging. So it was sealed, meaning that nobody else could have opened this up, resealed it, and even put the tracking stuff on it. I'm sure this was after it was sent to the crime lab, as they were going to send it to Othram because it was hand delivered. I doubt that it would have been sealed up like this going to the crime lab. I'm sure it was probably in a chain of custody bag. It may or may not have been sealed. I don't know. I wasn't there to do it. So I can't really specify on that one way or the other. Oh, yeah, these are cool pictures. I mean, but I can't get past this one right here. All that blood. Sorry about the sound. Those are people active on Discord right now. No telling what they're talking about, but they're not over here. You know what I mean? I think the YouTuber you're talking about is just upset because her hairstylist did her wrong. No, it's not that one. It's the other one. It's the other one. I think you call her Justin Bieber. No, it's the other one. Once again, I don't have anything against these YouTubers. They can say and do as they want. But when you blatantly try to mislead people in public forums such as this, for whatever reason, tells a lot about your integrity. This one was taken on 12/5/22. So why'd they wait so long to take this picture? Were they dipping the blood into it? Letting the blood soak into the sheath so you could have a better picture because there might have not have been blood on it? Yeah, you're right, Kathy. 6 different agencies would have been involved in the cover up. That's just ridiculous to think you could have that many people. You're talking hundreds of people. And be willing to give up all the career just to frame 163214. Ah, the Kate McMinnon version of Justin Bieber. Yeah. She's such a great lawyer. She's lost every case she's taken to trial. She's not a lawyer, by the way. She lacks in understanding sometimes. But when you use sentence structure that goes with, what you're trying to present to people that don't know any better, they're going to believe you and they're going to hail you the queen, which is cool. If you want to be the queen of ignorance, I mean, wear your crown. Wear your crown. There's some other males that should wear a crown too. Crown of ignorance. But look at this blood all over, and it's on the back side. That's what's interesting too. Not only is it on the front side, it's on the back side. So you're telling me they were going to frame this guy and they were only going to, use the front and back. Specifically, they're going to just drip the blood on it. That means that you would have had to have the victim blood before they died. I have not seen that. I have not seen that. It's interesting that they're raising funds to disprove the obvious. Yeah, it's obvious. You're right. And you know what's interesting is, let me put that up right quick. Thank you for saying that. I'm going to put up the American Heart Association QR code that if you wish to donate, any little bit helps. So there's the QR code, whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay. Feel free to donate whatever you can, whether it be 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cents, any amount help that organization. And that's what I was about to say is none of these creators put up QR codes for organizations such as the American Heart Association, Cancer Society, any of those organizations that need help, St. Jude's, but they're quick to make their own QR code and put every mode of desirable financial information down on a scrolling and make sure that you have every available viable option to be able to send them money. But never think about the organizations that truly need it. If y'all know of a food pantry or something near your area that you'd like me um to put up on my channel during the times when families need funding for food pantries or whatever that are legit, that are nonprofit or whatever, send me the QR code to my email. And I will place that on my lives. And this time when people are obviously needing, or if you know of an organization that takes funds to buy families turkeys and stuffing and stuff like that during the holiday that you wish me to present on my channel, send me the QR code in my email. or in Discord if you're a member of my Discord, and I will place that up on the panel on my on one of my lives. So I'd like to get these QR codes out for these agencies because they desperately need our help. And if you don't believe in them, please don't trash them. I mean, I know for a fact Salvation Army does a lot of good work during the holidays. Volunteers of America does a lot of good work during the holidays, and they help rehabilitate the criminal minded coming back into society by supplying halfway houses and residential places for them to get better. So if you'd like for me to put your QR code up here, be sure to send me the link, the QR code, and make sure it works, and I will definitely do that. Do you think that's a good idea, guys, coming into the Thanksgiving holiday and the Christmas holidays? There are a lot of families that are going to be in need, and I definitely do not want to take away from the attention of that, talking, about this guy that's definitely still in prison today, November 1st, 2025. Yeah, he doesn't ever have to worry about an electric bill ever again. So let me know what you think about the QR code idea. Let me know if you want to make a specific one, if you have an organization in your town that does a great job that you know for a fact is not a fraud or a scammer. Let me know. I will use that as a perk to display your QR code, and you don't have to donate a dime to the channel. You don't have to send me a super chat. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to be any of that. If you want to be a member, feel free. That's your own choice. But you don't have to be. You don't have to spend money on my channel for me to do lives for you. Not a dime. So that's awesome. I believe in the Salvation Army because they are the parent company of the VOA, which is the Volunteers of America, which I used to work for at one point. Salvation Army actually was the mom and dad of the son and the daughter who created Volunteers of America. You say Salvation Army is the only one that I donate to. My husband had a wreck in the year 2000, and me and my kids, it was right before Thanksgiving. They came in, done Thanksgiving and Christmas. That is awesome, and that is how it should be. We should be giving to others rather than taking for ourselves. You know, and I'm not going to get on my moral high horse here, but in all actuality, to get on here and beg for money in this day and age, in our financial situation in life, there are some of us that have it good. I'm not going to say that everybody's struggling, but the people that are struggling generally need it. I know a lot of people that I could go out on these streets if I was a multi-billionaire and just donate money to be able to feed their family, to get a better roof, to get better windows, to get, multitudes of things that they need, a better vehicle, you know, not for myself, not one dime. I don't need. If I did need it, you'd never hear about it. I need hearing aids. I'm not going to ask you for it because I have a way to get them, and that is either by my own back or, thankfully, in the state of Texas, if you can't feasibly afford the high rate for it, they will buy them for you just to keep people working. So, you know what I mean? So it's I don't know how I got on that rant, but I hope you guys understand. And I'm not talking about any particular creator because there's a lot that do it. They're sure to let you know about their financial status, about how they just got kicked out of their homes, or how they lost this or they lost that, or how they have to pay for the services in order to bring this live to you. You know, I'm going to tell you, $44.49 comes out of my bank every month on StreamYard. And I'm going to show you something. That way people know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you something about my channel. I'm transparent in everything I do. Let me show you something. I got remonetized on the 16th. Okay. And let me see if I can find the right page. Analytics. Okay, let me show you this. I got remonetized on the 16th. And most of the money that I've made so far has been due to the shorts that I've been making. Because they get thousands and thousands of views, which it's easier for people to look at shorts. Okay. So October 13th, there was none all through October. I got remonetized on the 16th, I believe, or yeah, on the 16th. On the 18th, I started accumulating value on the 22nd, 27th, October 31st, which was yesterday. In that time, I have only revenued $47.30. So with that revenue, if it stays at $47, I have to get to 100 before I even get a cent. So you're already negative 100. So I'm negative what? $53, okay? So I'm negative 53. Once I get to 53 more dollars, I'll be at zero balance because YouTube will have gotten theirs before I get mine. So, and then the month will be over because the month was over yesterday, right? So from now until the 21st, if that doesn't happen, it rolls over into another month. So all these people that are going 6 and 7 hours and 3, 4 hours, I'm going 2. I'm about to shut it down. I hate when creators beg for money. I don't mind supporting your channel, but don't hound me for money. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is this. If only one bill of mine, which is StreamYard, is $44.49, I don't even get this before I make 100. So if I make $47 after I make that 100, I get $47. Which, look at the views. 212,000 views. 177 more than usual. So that should tell you how little money my channel really makes. And I'm okay with that because I pay a lot more out than comes in. For these people to sit there and go day in and day out trying to generate their income based on a career, I don't know how they exist. I really don't. Because none of them really would be making that much money, I don't believe. Oh, let's see. Let's see what it says. It says October 31st, your channel 12 gauge investigative reached 72,262 new viewers. This is a significant increase of 1,491.3% compared to the previous 28-day period. It's great to see a large number of new viewers discovering your content. This suggests that your videos are resonating with a wider audience. Keep an eye on which videos the content of these new viewers to understand what is working best. So if I do the AI shorts on a daily, which I think they're funny more than anything, I'll continue to get a couple pennies a day. You know what I mean? So All these people that say that they're making bank on YouTube. This shows you the most popular videos as well. And this is the top one, was the dog, or kick the door in, Junior, where that kid was trying to kick the door in and then gets sucked off by a tornado. The next one was where the old lady tackled the ghost face. The other one was the chiropractor. Squeeze so hard, you go and watch it. And the dog's running alongside the car. The squirrel. The toilet paper roll. And so on and so on. So I just wanted to show you that. If I was one of those creators that really gained bank, I would be donating to agencies every day that needed the money. I really would. You know what I mean? I really would. Those of you that don't know me on a personal level, this person that I am right now is the person you'd meet in the streets, the person you'd meet in the grocery store, the person that you'd talk to on the bus or, wherever. This is the person you'd see and that you'd hear. There's no difference in who I am on my channel versus the person you'd meet in the street. My sense of humor is a lot twisted. I have a dirty mind sometimes, but don't we all? I'm still a work in progress, and Jesus is not finished with me yet, just like Steve Harvey says. But I hope that you guys have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful November 1st. Be safe out there, just in case in your area people do act a fool and decide to start robbing people for their groceries. Be very safe out there. I don't know if there'd be idiotic people that would try to do that, but do what you got to do to defend yours. That's your money. That's your groceries. You paid for it. Be mindful and be very aware. Until I see you next time, stay safe out there and always watch your six. Maestro, cue that music.
Ready, set, go!
Age Investigated, the best true crime channel out there.
I'm a true crime channel.
12 Gauge Investigators is the best.
12 Gauge Investigators the best.
12 Gauge Investigators, he's the best.
Prince George's County 911 Center. What is the location of the emergency?
Across 4709 40th Avenue.
You say
it's a fire, and it's catching fast.
4709?
Yeah, 4709.
Okay, what city is that, ma'am?
Hyattsville, sorry.
And what's your name?
Take on the darkness, stare down deceit. Murder in the headlines, justice in the beat. From cold case whispers to killers in disguise, we rip off the mask, expose all the lies. Facts like bullets we load and deliver. Truth cuts deep like a blade in a river. Corruption shakes when the mic goes live. We dig where others won't survive. Keeps rolling through the smoke. Truth hits hard, no time for a joke. Deceit, murder, we name every name. No restraint, no shame, just flesh.
12 Gauge Investigators the best.
When you're in Foley, come get your hair cut where 12 gets his at Nick's Barbershop. 12 Gauge is the best. We love you.
12 Gauge Investigative is the best.
My name is 12 Gauge. Welcome.